Join me as I take on the challenge of creating my own holiday dress this year instead of heading to the stores to buy one. I'll go from inspiration and sketching the design to picking the fabric. I'll show you how I pattern the design and sew it. And finally, I'll show you the reveal. I use a Pinterest board for inspiration. So I pin things throughout the year when I find a dress or a garment that I really like. So when I'm looking to create a new design, I go to the board and I flip through it, and I might take a collar from one design and a sleeve from another and a silhouette from a third one. I just mix and match, which is what I love. So for this project, I am considering these three different designs here, and I'll show you how I patterned each one of them. I'll start by showing you how I patterned the green dress. I like this one because of the sleeves. The ruching on the side is a bit much for my curvy hips, so I plan to eliminate that. I'll start with my woven knit dress sloper, as the fabric I'm using is just a little stretchy. So I traced it out, and I'll widen and lower the neckline into an elegant scoop neck. I have a little ease in this pattern, so I'll keep that in, and I'm going to be using the dart for shaping. I'll bring the hip down a straight line. I bring it down 16 inches, which hits me right below the knee, but your measure will be different depending on your preference and how tall you are. I'm also going to bring it in 1¼ inch on both sides here to make it more of a pencil skirt silhouette. I'll use my sleeve knit sloper, which doesn't have a lot of ease into it because I want it to be a little bit snugger fit. I'm going to end the sleeve right above the elbow. This bottom line is my elbow line, so I'm going to do the cutting line right above that. To draft the ruffle, I'm going to use a full circle, but the center of the circle is going to be offset. This is where the sleeve is going to attach. So right here will be right above the elbow, and it'll be inset into this. So I'm going to have a 4-inch ruffle length in the front and 10 inches in the back. That's completely a matter of preference. I looked at the picture and sort of looked like that would represent what the picture shows, but I did hold a ruler up to my actual arm to see where it would hit and if I liked it. So that's where I determined that from. I drew this small circle, which is the sleeve opening. It would be this, once you close it up, would go around this small circle. I figured out the diameter of the outside ruffle by adding back the length of 10 inches plus the 4 inches plus this opening. We know this circle has a diameter of 4. So 10 plus 4 plus 4 gives me an entire diameter of 18. Half of the diameter is the radius, so the radius is 9. So I went the entire way around this center point by 9, the entire way around to get this full circle. Then finally, after this, you just have to add the seam allowances. Next, I'm going to show you how I patterned the white dress. This one's a bit more simple with an A-line skirt and no waist seam. Starting with my woven dress sloper, I'm going to add a princess seam instead of the darts. I'm putting the princess seam through the darts and down straight to the base on both sides, starting at the shoulder and through the darts. You'll see the grayed area will be removed. We will no longer need that area. That will be sewed together. And then from the hip, I'm going to extend from the low hip line down 16 inches, which hits me right below the knee. Your measurement's going to be different based on your height and preference. And I added in a little bit bigger scoop neckline here, brought it in a little bit at the neckline, which I have to do the same in the back then. Then I cut down the princess line to cut the pieces apart. So you can see I cut them apart there at the princess line. And I also cut these pieces apart here so I can add the flap, which that is This will come together to measure this. I put these two pieces together and I could get the measurement for the flap, and I decided that I wanted the flap to be 3 inches tall. So that is also a matter of preference, however you'd like, but that's how you can get the measurement there. I'm adding in an insert of 4 inches to each princess seam, 2 inches to each side of the princess seam, so 2 inches here and 2 inches there. I'm also adding 2 inches on the side seam, and so 2 inches in the back and 2 inches in the front. And you can see over here I've added 2 inches on this princess seam as well. So with all that adding in, it gives me a total insert, a flare insert of 24 inches. And so that'll give me a nice A-line silhouette that I'm looking for. And lastly, for the sleeve, I'm just using my knit sloper. I'm going to keep it pretty much as it is. This is a 3/4 knit sloper. So I'm just going to cut it. I like the 3/4 inch. That's why I have a sloper. I like to keep it. So I'm just going to use the sleeve sloper as I have it. And then we add seam allowances all around all the pattern pieces. This red dress has raglan sleeves, princess seams to the armhole, and a 1/2 inch circle flounce. I'll abut the shoulder seams and trace around. At the underarm, I'll mark 2 inches up and down on both the back and the front. I'm going to connect these points with a line here. I'm going to fold on this line so I can mirror this triangular shape. So I'm going to fold on this line so I can mirror this triangular shape. This is creating a gusset, which is a little extra space that will provide room to move in the underarm. Then I'm going to connect these 2 points from the back to the front, and I'm going to square a point from this line up to the join here between the front and the back. I'm going to continue this line down to my desired length, which for this one is going to be just above my elbow. I'm going to extend that line out as far as the measurement that I have at this point in my arm, and then draw up back to this point. Then finally, to create the raglan sleeve, I'm going to extend this line here that I had drawn up to the point on the neck, wherever I want that to meet on the neck, and the same in the back. This one I curved a little bit because my front does come in. So this is the style line for the raglan sleeve. Then I'm going to trace the sleeve pattern onto another piece of paper as it overlaps. You can see I've done it here. You can see right where that square is, that's the gusset. It overlaps, the square here overlaps there, and the same on the front. This square here overlaps that. That's where it's going to give extra room for movement. So when I break these apart, you can see I have the back piece here with the raglan style line, and the front here with the raglan style line, and then a bit unusual sleeve, and this goes up to the neck right here. So it is a little bit different and unusual. It's a little bit challenging to sometimes do this, but it's worth it because it's a really nice look. And you can see here that I created princess seams. I started at the armhole. The place is your preference, where exactly you want it to go, down through the dart, down to the hip. And this grayed area will be removed. The same thing on the back. I did a nice curve into the armhole and down through the dart to the bottom. And then below is going to be a circle skirt. So I created this half circle. In my opinion, the circle was not quite as full as a full circle, so I thought creating a half circle would be great for the skirt for this. To create the half circle for the skirt is by taking the hip measurement, which is these measurements here, your full hip measurement, and we're going to divide that by pi, which is 3.14. And this will be able to draw, this will give us the radius here so we can draw this curve, which we only need two of these quarter circles to make a half circle. And then you determine how long you want your skirt. For me, it's going to be 16 inches. So I'll take the radius plus the 16 inches and then draw the line around here to create the hem portion of the skirt. You can add an extra hem if desired. Some fabrics don't require a hem. Some knits do not require a hem. You can add anywhere from ½ inch to an inch for a hem. And then you're going to add seam allowances to everything, around the entire pattern. So in the end, I decided to combine all three designs. So I'm going to start primarily with the second dress, the white one, which has the princess seams and the A-line skirt. But I'm going to borrow the nice scoop wide neck from the green dress, and I'm going to borrow the color of the red dress because I really would like to make something in red for this holiday season. So that's the beauty of creating your own designs and making your own patterns, is that you can mix and match and make something that is like unique to you and perfect for your occasion. So I purchased this beautiful Ponte fabric from Mood. I got it online. It's pretty light feeling, very drapey, has a little bit of stretch, but what I love about Ponte is that it's very stable, so I can use either my woven sloper or my knit sloper. So in this instance, I'm going to use my woven sloper because I want to have a little bit more fit in certain areas and be able to use the darts. And I also am going to fully line it. So I have this nice lining fabric here that also has a little stretch, but not too much. So you want to try to match the stretchiness of your lining with the stretchiness of your fabric. So when you create your own patterns, the one issue that you have to tackle is the order of construction. So because we do not have instruction sheets, which for commercial patterns, the instruction sheets are so confusing anyway, I have difficulty following them. If you want to learn more about the order of construction for garments, check out the video here. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe as it really helps my small channel.